Iga Swiatek receives sound advice from Serena Williams' former coach after crushing loss to Alexandra Eala. Iga Swiatek has had a tough few months, both on and off the court. A one-month doping ban took a toll on her mentally, making her not want to step on the court. Things didn't get easier when she faced backlash at Indian Wells for showing frustration at a ball boy. Then, at the Miami Open, an aggressive fan verbally abused her at the practice courts, forcing tournament officials to increase security for her matches. The polished players' campaign in Miami eventually ended in disaster. The world know. Two faced Filipino teenager Alexandra Eala in the quarterfinals, a match many expected her to win comfortably. However, it turned into one of the biggest upsets in recent memory. Swiatek fell 6-2, 7-5, marking a shocking early exit. Now, Serena Williams' former coach has some advice for her. Swiatek's struggles were evident throughout the match against Eala. Her usually reliable baseline game was off, leading to a flood of forehand errors, 32 in total, while Eala kept hers down to just 12. The five-time GS champion also struggled against Eala's left-handed serve, which barely cracked 90 miles per hour, but was unpredictable and tricky to handle. Swiatek dropped serve 8 times, unable to find any rhythm. After her defeat against Eala, Serena Williams' former coach, Rick Maxey, took to X to share his thoughts. The legendary coach wrote, "Iga will be oak as no place like home on clay, but her serve has stayed the same for years, and if modified biomechanically could get more free lunches and more juice on the second. Players even like Eala that play clean/flat can munch on the second serve and break more often." This defeat is just another in a series of setbacks for Swiatek this season. She reached her first ever Australian Open semifinal in January, but lost to eventual champion Madison Keys. In Qatar, she bowed out in the quarterfinals against Jelena Ostapenko, an opponent she had never beaten anyway. Then came 2 more semifinal exits at Indian Wells and Dubai, both against Mira Andreeva, who went on to win the title in each event. Italian apparel giant signed Serena Williams' former coach into an exciting new feat. Swiatek's opponents haven't made life easy for her. Andreeva and Keys are both top 10 players, and Ostapenko has always had her number. But Eala's win stands out. The 19-year-old had already pulled off 2 massive wins in Miami before taking on Swiatek, and against Swiatek, she played the match of her life yet again. Ranked world no. 140 before Miami, Eala's win guarantees her a spot in the top 100, shooting her up to at least no. 75. The 23-year-old acknowledged Eala's fearless performance. "She went all in," she said. "She made these returns in and pretty long, and so it wasn't easy to hit it back. She was pretty loosened up and just went for it." Iga Swiatek has been nearly unbeatable on clay, with 4 of her 5 Grand Slam titles coming at Roland Garros. She has won 3 consecutive French Open trophies and posted a staggering 21-1 record on clay last season. The only player could beat her, Elena Rybakina, in Stuttgart. After that rare stumble, the Pole roared back. She claimed back-to-back WTA 1000 titles in Madrid and Rome, both times defeating Aryna Sabalenka in the final. Then came her 4th French Open title, capping off a 19-match winning streak on the surface. With the clay swing ahead, the world know. 2 has a lot at stake. She has a massive 4,185 ranking points to defend, meaning she must replicate her 2024 dominance to stay in contention for world no. 1. For now, she's keeping her focus forward. I don't want to dwell on it too much. It's good to learn from losses. But yes, there are other things ahead, and I'm happy that we're going to play on clay now. I don't know how this year will be, but I'll definitely work hard to be ready for the early tournaments, Swiatek said. After a rough start to the season, Iga Swiatek is hoping for a reset on her favorite surface. Can she bounce back and dominate the clay season once again? The tennis was left stunned when 19-year-old wildcard Alexandra Eala achieved one of the most remarkable upsets of the 2025 Miami Open by defeating world no. 2 Iga Swiatek in a blistering performance. Eala, playing with the poise and maturity of a seasoned pro, took down the polished superstar in straight sets, 6-4, 6-2. It was a defeat that sent shockwaves through the tennis world, especially given Swiatek's dominant form in the lead-up to the tournament. But while the loss was undeniably disappointing for Swiatek, it was also an opportunity for growth. Enter Moratoglou, Serena Williams' former coach, who has become one of the most sought-after mentors in the tennis world. Moratoglou, who has worked with some of the biggest names in the sport, including the legendary Serena Williams, reached out to Swiatek with some crucial advice following her crushing loss to Eala. In the aftermath of the match, where Swiatek's game was completely neutralized by the young Filipino's aggressive play, the polished star struggled to come to terms with the defeat. However, Moratoglou's advice would offer her a fresh perspective on the situation, focusing on the mental and tactical aspects that needed attention. A shocking loss. Eala's explosive rise. Eala's performance in Miami was nothing short of extraordinary. The Filipino wildcard, who had earned her spot in the tournament as a rising star, made her way through the early rounds with impressive victories. But her win over Swiatek, the No.2 ranked player in the world, was the cherry on top, and it stunned both fans and experts alike. Swiatek, known for her powerful baseline game and exceptional movement, was expected to dominate Eala. But instead, it was Eala who was dictating the rallies, pushing Swiatek out of her comfort zone with her aggressive, yet calculated, attacking style. Eala's fearless shot-making, combined with her mental composure, allowed her to overwhelm Swiatek, who struggled to find her rhythm. For Swiatek, the defeat was a humbling experience. She had come to Miami with high expectations, having been in excellent form leading up to the tournament, including recent wins at the Australian Open and other hardcourt tournaments. However, Eala's performance was a wake-up call for the polished star, revealing areas of her game that needed improvement, especially against the next generation of rising stars. Moratoglou's advice, focusing on the mental game. After the match, Swiatek took to social media to express her frustration and disappointment, but she also vowed to bounce back stronger. It was then that she received a message from Moratoglou, who offered her a unique perspective on the loss. Known for his direct yet nurturing coaching style, Moratoglou's words were intended to help Swiatek recover from the loss and sharpen her game for the challenges ahead. Moratoglou, who guided Serena Williams to 23 Grand Slam singles titles, understands better than most how important it is for players to maintain mental resilience in the face of setbacks. His first piece of advice to Swiatek was to focus on the bigger picture. This is just one match, one chapter in a long career. While the loss at Eala was painful, Moratoglou emphasized that setbacks were a natural part of a player's evolution. He pointed out that even the greatest champions have faced crushing defeats, but what set them apart was their ability to learn from those losses and come back even stronger. He encouraged Swiatek to focus on what she could learn from Eala's game, how to handle an opponent who plays aggressively and forces you out of your comfort zone. Tactics and technical adjustments. What needs improvement? Beyond the mental aspect, Moratoglou turned his attention to the tactical side of Swiatek's game. One of the key issues he highlighted was Swiatek's tendency to get too defensive when faced with an aggressive player. Throughout the match, Eala had imposed herself on Swiatek, constantly dictating the rallies with deep ground strokes and a fearless net approach. Swiatek, who is typically the aggressor on court, found herself unable to break Eala's rhythm. Moratoglou advised Swiatek to become more proactive in such situations, emphasizing the need to adjust her positioning and shot selection when playing against opponents who are willing to take risks. "You need to be more assertive," Moratoglou explained. "You can't wait for your opponent to make a mistake. You have to make them feel uncomfortable by taking control of the points from the very beginning." He also advised Swiatek to improve her variety of shots, specifically suggesting that she incorporate more sliced backhands and drop shots when playing against players who are consistently pushing her behind the baseline. By changing up the pace and forcing her opponent to play from different angles, Swiatek would be better equipped to handle aggressive players like Eala.